Okay, so let's get started with our first flower. This is the coneflower. It's very pretty and very beginner friendly to draw. Very, very easy. As you can see, there is really no secrets there as far as the general shape of the flower. I'm trying to go a little slower when I draw the flower, when I do the line of these flowers, and then when I start shading is going to be when I will speed up the video a little bit. But as you can see here, this is very simple. This part of this flower can be done in other ways and be represented in different ways. But I just wanted to try to make it very, very beginner friendly. So knowing how to draw flowers or any other type of botanical, it's very useful for any artist, for any piece of art, adding some flowers or other botanicals, plants, or anything of that nature, just adds extra value to any type of drawing or art pieces or illustrations. So it's a good skill to have, to know how to draw flowers. And it's also a good drawing to add into your sketchbook. So you can draw the flowers and put their names underneath your drawing. So later on, if you're working on a new art piece or on illustration or painting, you can go back to your sketchbooks and take a look at those flowers that you have drawn before and use it as your own personal reference for your art. And it's also a good drawing to just add into your sketchbook if you like to just draw in your sketchbook just for yourself. So it's a good drawing idea. Take a page of your sketchbook and just draw a lot of flowers. Use your phone or your computer, internet in general, just for the references. These flowers that I'm using in here are all from Canva. I just use Canva as a reference for these flowers. And I am not drawing the flowers here exactly as my references, but I'm trying to get as close as possible. All right, so let's get started with our next flower, which is the daisy. This one is also very simple. Basically, draw one circle, one small circle, and then another larger circle. And it's okay, and it's actually a good idea if they are not aligned perfectly, because that's what you want. You want your flowers to look a little bit imperfect, let's say. So like right here, this actually looks like a bunny, like I'm drawing a bunny, but it's going to be a flower. So it is okay that your circle is not perfect, because these flowers take many shapes. Nature, it's very forgiving, and the beauty of nature is exactly that it's so organic. Flower is not made by a computer. It makes the size to be extremely symmetrical. So we have a little bit of irregularities here in the shape of the flower. So it's good that some of the petals of the flowers are a little more separated than others, and others are very close to each other, it's okay, because that is exactly what you want to see in these flowers. You don't want to make them extremely perfect and extremely aligned. You want to make them look a little bit organic. So that gives that look of being a little bit more realistic. Like I was saying, this is a good skill to have, even if you don't enjoy drawing flowers and your art piece maybe is not about flowers, but having the knowledge of how to draw flowers is good, because you can add that to any type of drawing. Well, maybe not any type, but most drawings and illustrations will be complemented by having some florals or botanicals or plants, leaves, anything that is nature. Okay, so I'm drawing now the flower that's called Calla Lily. I hope that is how you pronounce. Maybe in your region it is called a different name. Maybe in your country there's another name for this flower. But this one is another flower that is not the easiest, and that's why I'm trying to go very slow so you can see. If you ever find that the video is too fast, that you need to see more slowly what I'm drawing and how I'm drawing, I would recommend to slow down the video. That is a way to do that on your YouTube app. But in that case, then I would remove the sound, because if you slow down the video, make your video go very slow, and you still keep my voice going, it's just going to sound very funny. So try to slow down the video, but turn the volume down so you can just see how the flower is being drawn. Anyway, so this flower, it's also very beautiful, like all the others. I think all flowers in the world are so beautiful. So the part of the shading of these flowers, it's what takes quite a long time. So you might watch this video and it's like 20-30 minutes video, but these flowers were not made in just 30 minutes. This took a lot longer, especially because this phase of the drawing, the hatching, which means the shading, that's what takes a long time. Okay, so now I'm drawing a tulip. This one is probably one of the easiest flowers in this drawing that I'm making here. Perhaps the leaves are a little more difficult, just because I'm trying to make this shape that the leaf is kind of turned over. But in general, it's really not all that difficult. You can see as I'm coming in now with the ink, it's fairly simple. And then, of course, we'll start with all the shading, the hatching that I'm doing. This is called the hatching. You just make simple lines. I'm using usually for the hatching for this shading, I usually use a 005 micron pen. I mean, you can use any other pen you want. You don't have to have these ones. This is my favorite, but you can use whatever pen you prefer. So as I had mentioned before, this is a very good exercise to draw flowers, to draw botanicals, to learn how to shade flowers and plants and leaves and things like that. I would recommend, if you are a beginner and you feel like this is too much, we have here about 9 flowers total in this drawing. So you feel like that is too much, take one or two, just choose one or two that you prefer to get started on your practice. Otherwise, it could be maybe, I don't know, a little too overwhelming. So you see me here now drawing the rose, and this is probably the most complicated of all of them. It's more complex because of the shape of this flower. What I recommend you to imagine is that one petal is hugging the next one. So if you think that way, it might make it easier on how to represent how a rose looks like. So right now, this rose looks very raw and unfinished. It's going to look more like a rose when we start the shading. Now, as far as the leaves, usually the leaves of a rose are a little spiky, like the ending or the border, the edges of the leaves they have like that spikiness, irregularity to it, so it's not very smooth. So you can represent that just going back and forth with your pen after you do the pencil line. Also, I would like to ask you, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. So that helps me to grow my small channel. It would be very helpful for me to have more subscriptions, so I can keep bringing videos like this. Doodle videos, drawing videos, painting, coloring videos, anything related to art, illustration, and things like that. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please click on subscribe, and maybe leave a comment too. Let me know if you are liking these videos, if there's anything different you would like to see, anything specific, type of drawing or something that you've been having difficulties with, or just any drawing or doodles ideas. So it would be just fun for me to see what you guys are looking for in these type of videos. Anyway, so as I had mentioned before, the shading of the rose is what is going to make it look like a real rose. Just the line drawing, it's okay. You can get your drawing finished just with a few lines, but it gives a whole nother look once you have more shading and all the hatching and the better definition of your drawing. Okay, so our next flower is the hibiscus. I hope that is how you pronounce. Maybe in your area you call it a different name, or in your country it's a different name. But so this flower is also fairly easy to do. Basically, you just make these shapes. Try to make them a little bit irregular, especially on the edge, on the outer edge of the flower, because that's what makes it look like hibiscus. And then you start with your shading. I try to shade more, or to have more hatching in one side of the flower and not so much on the other side. And then of course I always leave a space completely blank, like you don't touch that, you don't touch some areas with your ink at all. So that shows the light, that is where the light is shining in your flower. So I used white pen to give a better definition to that center of the flower. I think it's called the style. I looked that up. I didn't know that was the name. So I used the white pen just to give it a better definition to that area. Anyway, so we'll get started now with our dandelion. This is a very fun flower to draw. Basically, as you can see, you have a stick and a circle on top of that stick. And then now we'll just go ahead and get started with some fun hatching, very irregular. Just like pretend that you just scratching your paper with a pen. And I'm purposely using here a 005, so that's a very, very fine liner because that's what we want to represent. In a dandelion, it's those, geez, I don't even know what it's called, but it's so fine and delicate. So you want a very fine pen for this. You probably can use other thicker pens. But the effect of it is going to be a little bit different. And just have fun. Just go back and forth in various different positions with your pen. Try to be as light as possible. And just make hatchings or scratchings on your paper in very irregular ways. Okay, so let's start now with the next flower, which is the bleeding heart flower. I think that is the name. So basically, just draw a branch falling to one side or another, and then fill sticks and draw hearts hanging from these sticks. So, and I'm not making these hearts very, very defined, so it looks a little more like the actual flower, because it's not a very, very defined heart. And then of course it has the other area of the flower hanging down from that heart. So this flower, I feel like it's pretty easy too, very beginner friendly. The better definition of it, it's going to appear after you come with the shading. So for me, line drawing usually has a lot of shading. It's when I really feel the satisfaction of seeing my drawings come to life. Is when I add all the shading. And of course, this is the part that takes the longest and that require more effort, but it is very rewarding to see your drawing when finished with that more complete definition of the drawing. Okay, so this is the last flower of today. This is called the Bellflower, and I had already sketched in pencil, and I'm just coming over with the ink. It's very simple flower too. Basically, you just make a bell, the shape of a bell. That's why the name is the Bellflower. And the better definition of this flower, like most of the other ones, is just going to show once you have all your hatching done. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We are almost in the end. So after I finished with the flowers, I decided to add just a few more botanicals around, just to fill up the spaces with some leaves and branches and other little flowers, just so my pages in this sketchbook are um, more completed. I didn't have enough space for a whole flower, but I just had a few empty areas that I didn't want to leave it just blank. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you decide to try drawing any of these flowers and which one you like the most and which one you found it more difficult. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.